is Musab. I'm a junior in industrial engineering.
I'm Brian, and I'm a senior in chemical and biomedical engineering.
And I'm Cecily, and I'm a sophomore in business administration with a concentration in marketing. And then later on, we're also bringing guest speaker Rob Humphrey, who's in the back right now, who's been working with LinkedIn for 6.5 years.
All right, before we start, how many of you people have an account on LinkedIn?
Wow, surprising amount.
A lot of people. Okay, so our learning objectives for tonight is learning about LinkedIn, basically. So what is LinkedIn? How can we use LinkedIn? We will take you in the process of creating a profile on LinkedIn and how to utilize LinkedIn to reach your career goals.
So what is LinkedIn? Does anybody have a guess what LinkedIn is? Who knows?
A lot of you have accounts, so I
You have
assume
accounts.
you have suspicion of what it is.
Okay, well, it's a professional network, sort of like Facebook, but 100% more professional, and I like it way more than Facebook. It helps you build a professional profile to highlight your own talents and abilities, gain a professional network, find and reconnect with students or alumni, which I love doing. I'll show you how to do that a little bit later. Learn about companies and join groups and search for jobs.
So why should you join LinkedIn? It has over 450 million members, and that's growing at 2 members per second. And that's anywhere from entry-level professionals to CEOs. This is a great networking tool. And over 2.8 million businesses are on there, so there's a chance that a company that you are interested in is on LinkedIn, as well as hundreds of their employees that you can talk to.
So why LinkedIn is important? Easy, networking. So I want to hear from you. As a guess, what is the percentage of jobs that are found through networking? What do you think?
79%.
100%? No, that's too much. Okay.
What'd you say?
80.
Oh, that's actually right. 80% of the jobs are actually found through networking. You can start networking from now by connecting with peers, with friends, with family members. LinkedIn makes all of that easier, smoother, and more efficient.
So we're going to start you guys off connecting with a little activity, and this is a great way to connect with all these students around you. I mean, look at how huge this network already is just in this room. So if everybody could stand up just in front of your seats. And I'm going to explain this activity, so listen carefully. Okay, can everybody see me? Alright, so this is yarn, and how this game works is I'm going to say a career goal of mine, and then you're going to raise your hand if you have that career goal in common with me, if you know somebody working in that field or anything like that. So I'm going to show you an example of how this is going to work. I'm really bad at throwing, so. But the best way to do it is to unravel it a little bit before you throw it. So I want to work in marketing when I'm older. So then you raise your hand if you know anybody in marketing, if you want to work in marketing, anything like that. Okay, so one, there, two.
Yes. Great.
Okay, so now you say what connection you have in marketing.
What's your name?
Okay, my name is Jacob Michael, and my mom is a professional marketing professor at ASU.
Oh, awesome. And now you can say a career goal of yours.
A career goal of mine is to go international.
Unravel. Hold on.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty hard idea.
But not too hard. Don't injure.
Does anybody want to work international? Know anybody who's international? Has been international?
Alright, I have family in Canada and Australia. I want to work as an engineer. I'm Joel.
Okay.
I want to do chemical engineering. So that's what kind of engineering I want to do. And career goals. I want to work on like materials. Mariana. My name's Mariana. I want to work on with materials. Okay. Well, I'll make it more general. Chemical engineering. Oh, okay.
My name is Steven. I'm also a chemical engineer. Goal of mine is to work in chemistry.
So is anybody else a chem major, wants to work in that field? Yeah, you can go back.
Why not?
There's one down
Yeah, someone's already had it.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah, but it's, I just don't know.
I'm Libby and my sister is majoring in chemistry. I want to work with the environment somehow.
I'm Sada, and I want to do environmental engineering, and I would like to do something with sustainable energy.
My name's Anuba, and I'm also interested in sustainability and such. Wait, so goal? I'd like to see the expansion of solar energy at NC State.
My name is Caitlin. I'm doing electrical engineering, and I'd like to concentrate in renewable energies. And a goal of mine is to get a summer internship.
Anybody else want to sign up for an internship?
Yep.
Okay, my name is Free, but for I. And I want a summer internship too, probably in the medical field. And one of my career goals is to end up in the medical field.
My name is Charlie, and my dad's an anesthesiologist, so he works in the medical field, and one of my career goals is to work on space travel.
It seems like you're gonna want to.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Williams. I'm an aerospace engineer, so I really work in space. One of my career goals is to become a test engineer.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much for participating with us.
Wait, just out of curiosity, raise your hand up if you're holding a string. I want to see how big this. Okay, so can you guys see how intricate networking is and how just meeting one person can lead you to another person and another person and another person? So why don't, when you sit back down, just, or at the end of this, get the person's name who's sitting next to you, and that's already you guys making connections that you're here. So if you're holding string, just drop it. We'll pick it up later. And you guys can sit back down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Now that you knew LinkedIn is great, let's go to the next step, which is creating a LinkedIn account. And guess what? Thankfully, LinkedIn has some great tools that will take you step-by-step instructions, step-by-step to create your profile. That starts with the first thing LinkedIn will suggest to you after creating your account, which is uploading your profile, your picture. What is important to realize in here that it is not your Facebook profile. So no selfies, no pics, or any of the sort. So basically you need to have a professional headshot that focuses mainly on you with a solid, clear background that is not distracting and that shows you in professional clothes. As you can see, there are some great examples in here. That's me, that's Cecily, and Brian. And as you can see, I'm wearing the suit. Cecily's wearing the top, and Brian is wearing something different than us. So whatever that you love, basically.
These sort of show our personality, and also if you don't have time or don't know how to get a professional headshot taken right now, you can just use one sort of like Brian's. It's very professional looking still, even though it's not done professionally. Does that make sense to everybody? So don't be afraid to not make a LinkedIn because you don't have a picture. Like, definitely just get a friend to take one in front of you in front of like a white background, that
It's
would
as
be
simple
good.
as just me standing here.
Yeah,
Professional pose.
that would be a great picture.
Exactly. And Brian's picture show that what we just talked about, which is great. Thank you, Brian.
Of course. So after you create your, after you upload your picture, LinkedIn will let you edit your account, and what it'll start with is it's kind of this upper area here with the headline. So your name would go up there, and what's really good about LinkedIn, you can just click the text and input whatever you need to. It makes it really easy. So it's going to start off with that headline, student at North Carolina State University. But what's a really good thing to do is to make that more personal. So for example, mine right now is career ambassador at NC State, because I'm a career ambassador at NC State, not just a student. Also put in the location where you currently are. You can add the industry that you're interested in working. Your education is very important as well. And this URL at the bottom, you can put that on a resume. It makes employers, it makes it easier for them to find you. You can also edit that URL so it doesn't look so complicated. Mine, for example, is Brian C. Gentry, and so that makes it very easy for employers to search me on LinkedIn. And then after that, LinkedIn will help guide you through what you can put in your LinkedIn, such as your industry, your experiences, your skills. But what's most important to start off with is the summary. And Cecily will give some examples of what to put there.
Okay, so here's the first example of a summary, and this is one of the longer ones in my opinion, but I think it's really great. She is talking about what she wants to do with her life and her career, where she currently is, what she's pursuing, and she also has her resume uploaded. That way, if employers wanted a copy of her resume, they wouldn't have to reach out and ask. It's right there. So very easy access to that. Here's two more, and the first one is sort of an emotional, heartfelt summary, and it's very personal. It really gives you a sense of what that person is, like how they act in life, I guess. And the second one is very short, but I think it's very cool and to the point. It includes their Myers-Briggs types and their strengths. So if any of you guys have taken personality tests like that, a lot of employers actually are interested in those results, and this is a great place to showcase that because you wouldn't want to put that on your resume or anything.
LinkedIn has so many multiple sections or parts. So basically you can add experience, you can add education, you can add support organizations, you can add patents, you can add test scores. But of course, you don't need to add all of that. The more that is relevant, the better, basically. One of the most important things to talk about is education. So basically we're all from here, or most of us, I would assume so, from North Carolina State University. You can, as you can see, well, this is the education part, or this what will it look like on LinkedIn. So basically, you can add your degree, your field of study, your grade, your activities, and extracurricular activities, and organizations, and all of that.
And LinkedIn makes it very easy. It's pretty much fill in the blank, so you don't have to think, should I put this on my LinkedIn? Because that's right there what you should put.
The next thing that's really important after your summary and your education is your experience. And this can be something as simple as copying and pasting from your resume. And if your resume kind of is too brief to kind of put in everything that you want to put in on your description of your experiences, you can add a bit more. LinkedIn has no limits on the amount of space that you have to use up. And after that, this is what it looks like as a finished product. It looks very neat. You can link kind of the place that you worked at. Like since I was an undergrad teaching assistant, that's one of my experiences. I put NC State University and it pops up a nice little logo right there.
Okay, and do we have any questions about profile building at all? Feel free to ask. Okay, so then I am going to show you how to connect with people. Who here is connected with one person at least on LinkedIn? Okay, so that's a good amount. So this is what the main page will look like on LinkedIn. And have you guys ever used the alumni tool? No? Okay, I'm really excited to show you about this. This is my favorite tool ever. And if you're not really sure where to start with connecting with people, this is a great place to start. So can somebody tell me a major they're in? Just shout it out. Any major?
Physics.
Engineering. Okay, that's a big one. Look at that. Okay. So that filters out some people, and if you scroll down, all these people went to state or are in state, and they studied engineering as well. Is there a certain company you see up here that you're interested in? Cisco. Okay. do is you just send them a personalized Connect invitation. Be like, hey, I was on the alumni tool. I noticed you went to my school, and I'm also interested in engineering and Cisco and living in India. It would mean a lot to me if you would connect with me, and maybe we could set up an informational interview. And an informational interview is just where you get together with somebody in a company and you ask them questions about what they do. Not really you looking for a job, but just to gather more information. And then they'll always keep you in the back of their mind when they're thinking about their networks or if they have a position open. So I definitely recommend doing that. And this is the best tool to do this. I have connected with so many people. I've even found girls in my sorority who graduated 15 years ago using this tool who are living in New York where I want to live and doing marketing, which is what I want to do. So it's very useful. And then there's also Job Search, who Rob's going to talk more about that. He's over here. But I do want to tell you a little personal story. I was a freshman last year, and I was obsessed with LinkedIn, and people were like, why are you obsessed with LinkedIn? That's so weird of you. But I was on it every night and looking for jobs, and I found this one really cool job I wanted in New York City, again, in marketing. It was working for a nonprofit, and it was paid. So I just went and applied, sent them my resume, and they actually called me back for an interview. So I did a phone interview with them, and it was a great experience. It wouldn't have happened without LinkedIn. So if you think that these job postings are going to millions of people and you have no chance, that's not true at all. I think I was a little too young for the job then, but there's a lot of opportunities, and now next year I could reapply and they'll have my resume on hand and remember that they talked to me last year. So I'm going to welcome Rob up here.
Yeah, that's cool. Hey y'all, how you doing? All right, cool. So I thought I'd go through a couple of the kind of not secrets, the details that have worked well for people I know. As these guys had said, I really like the string thing, by the way. That was really classic. I'm gonna adopt that. Anyway, so I've been at LinkedIn for a while, and I have the most kick-ass job in the freaking planet. Really, get to work out of my house in Apex, North Carolina, and obviously you guys know that, but I do a lot of talks to students, like literally thousands every year. I usually get into sort of the details of how do you actually make this stuff happen. And so I thought I'd kind of share with you some of my perspectives on it and give you 3 things that you can actually do that will make it really useful for you. Of course, you know, LinkedIn's not super sexy like Facebook or Instagram. It's definitely not Snapchat. You know, I've got 2 kids in college. I got one at Carolina. That's the big sticker on my laptop. Apologize. But I also got the Howl back. I'm a big State fan as well. My wife works here. So, and my other son, I just was visiting at Connecticut, in Storrs, Connecticut, at UConn. Be grateful you don't go to school in Storrs, Connecticut. It's a beautiful campus, but it's in the middle of nowhere. And I went to visit him, and he just made the swim team as a freshman. So I've really been able to actually craft this cool job. So I'm in sales at LinkedIn, and at the same time, I'm in the higher ed vertical, and I work in marketing sales. So I sell to schools and states, actually a customer. So it's Carolina and a bunch of other really cool schools. So I travel around the country and do my sales job and talk to students. It's pretty cool. So I want to show you a couple things about that are really cool. I've heard, you know, some of the aspirations in the room. Listen, LinkedIn's not, as I said, like not super cool necessarily, although students are our fastest growing audience. In fact, I think you guys mentioned the network growth rate's like 2 per second. Students actually are growing at a more rapid rate, and that's really going to be really useful for you all, for sure. A lot of people say LinkedIn's like Facebook for old people, and I say, well, that's cool, you know, old people, you know, the people that have all those freaking jobs you want, and internships in solar, and all those things you aspire to do, travel in space, all the things I'm hearing about. So let me show you a couple of the things that I think are really super critical, and I'll give you a behind-the-scenes look at not just how to search and find jobs, but also how to get found, which I think is the biggest opportunity for everybody here. Because I've actually gone through the experience through the lens of a lot of different students, and also through my own experience creating like a fake profile as a student. And it sounds kind of weird, stalkerish, but it's not. I want to know what the experience is like, and I find it on the desktop to be super awkward, because you get in there and, Okay, you can attach your resume, but if you don't have any work experience, you're kind of like, well, what the hell do I do now, right? It's not really designed super well, you know this, for students. So one of the things we did recently is we sort of doubled down and focused on getting students their first internship or job right out of school, which is why we invented the Students app, which is in its infancy. But out of the gates, when you download it and start using it, you'll notice it's a completely different experience than the desktop, which is kind of the focus now. Especially if you're a freshman or a sophomore, you'll be able to start scrolling through it, and you'll be able to see that it kind of gets smarter very, very quickly. I went to Ithaca College in upstate New York. Anybody ever been to Ithaca? All right, okay, so you guys know it's like 15 square miles surrounded by reality. But what's cool about it is, in my sales job, I've literally made about $1.4 million, not for myself, but for my company, by using the alumni kind to the Ithaca College. Because if I'm contacting a CEO that's, for example, this guy I contacted through LinkedIn that graduated about the same year as me, didn't know him, probably a good thing, because I don't know, maybe even run the same circles. But by way of having that affinity, I was able to secure a meeting and forward going do a deal. So it worked out really well for me. Something working on there? I don't. It's okay. It'll probably just pop up here.
Just change that.
Yeah, so purposes of doing presentations, you never want to do this. You never want to switch your display like this in the middle of one, but I like to take the risk.
Okay, there you
Yeah, cool. I'm totally cool with it. Okay, so let me start from sort of the beginning. If you all have questions, I'm totally willing to answer them, and that's why I'm here. But a couple things that I'm a huge fan of. You probably saw me taking some pictures. I do that because I have a lot of, I wouldn't say I have social anxiety, but I have a lot of like ADD type stuff going on in my brain. So I take a lot of photos at events. And that becomes really useful when I do one of the first things that's the biggest opportunity for you on LinkedIn is publishing. And anyone do any publishing on LinkedIn? No. Okay, so there's two forms of publishing. I want to review them with you because it's really important. The first one is basically status updates. So when you're on the home page, and this is beyond like worrying about filling out your work experience and all this stuff, and wondering if you should put your experience at Chipotle or Bojangles in there, which you kind of should, but maybe you don't want to get into that. So when you're sharing something here, you could do two things. Like you could share an update about, hey, I'm at this event, whatever. And this is good because one of the neat things about LinkedIn is it's the only network in the world where parents and students can coexist. So every once in a while, my son will post something up there about his experience being a freshman at UConn. I'm like, oh, that's great. He's studying and everything else. And it kind of dissuades me from tracking him down and figure out what he's really doing because I don't really want to know. My other kid, JD, up at Carolina, is a sophomore, and I know he's pledging a frat this year, and it's a big deal. Like, I didn't really see this coming, so I'm kind of curious what he's doing. And of course, I have Uber family. So I know at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Monday night when I get the little thing says JD just took an Uber ride, I know what's going on. It makes me feel good when he posts something on LinkedIn, whether it's an update, hey, I went to this class and found this interesting or whatever. But the real power, by the way, is writing articles. And I'm actually a criminal not really doing this as intently as I should, but this is a huge feature. Can anyone write here, by the way? Cool, a couple people. I'm not that great at it, but even if you can't, you should totally do it, and you're gonna find out why. It will completely set you apart. In two ways. One, when people are looking for someone to hire as an intern or as your first job, and as recruiters are searching for you specifically as well. And it's a totally revamped experience now, and if you haven't used it, you wouldn't know this, but literally all you need to do is start writing. And the cool thing is if you're into, if you have any cool images or pictures, you can actually plug them in here. And what I like most about it is you're able to actually, you're actually able to do really cool things with the photos. I really shouldn't show you that one. But you can actually do a lot of cool things. This is my Jeep You can kind of expand the images and contract them. And if you're into video at all, you can actually plug that stuff into video. So the publishing platform has completely been revamped. So my challenge to you is, if you haven't written anything on LinkedIn, here's an idea for you. Write a short article about this experience that you're having today with your peers, or they're taking their time to explain LinkedIn to you. And try to do that. And then maybe take a photo of some of the people you've connected with or whatever. Most of you won't do this, by the way. That's totally cool. It's expected. But it's a good way to say, hey, I'm testing out this new publishing platform on LinkedIn. And if you do it, at the end, put the hashtag student voices. Now, I've been putting this hashtag do work on my profile for a long time as I write articles or do status updates. And my sons and just a lot of people in social media were like, well, what the heck are you doing that for? Like, you can't even search stuff on LinkedIn. But you actually can now. So if you put student voices, what happens is this whole editorial group that we have looks at them. So publishing is a really big deal on LinkedIn. And if you don't believe me, you could look at some of, certainly some of the things I've written, but also some of the folks your classmates have written. Some of my favorite include Lauren Brommer, who is with the AMA, and then there's an interesting story here. So I did a talk at the AMA group last year about this time, and I said the same exact thing, and three pretty smart students wrote an article about the experience. Lauren and Sydney, and you notice they used the same photo, the photo I took with my nicer camera that I handed out to them, and of course I wrote an article as well. Of course I was in the picture, and I was writing about the fact that they had Bovary biscuits there, just like I'd be writing about the fact that I had about 18 of these Take 5s. So publishing is a really smart way, even if you can't write, to write a short article about your experience, whatever it is. And one of the things, if you're at all technically inclined, or you want to look at the user experience on LinkedIn, write about the new publishing platform. And all of a sudden, you might find yourself in the position, like my son was a few years ago, before he was even in college. We were looking at colleges, and we were sitting at the lawn up in Virginia, and he was one of the first